Hello, welcome to another stream, hopefully with better audio. I actually took a look at how the audio looked last time, and it actually looked a bit loud, and it sounded like it was a bit loud too. So I actually dialed back the audio settings a bit. I'm also trying to be a little bit more cognizant about my mic position. So to those who saw Monday's stream, I do apologize if the audio was a little bit blown out compared to the last few. I don't know if it's on my end or something else, but definitely something was different. So hopefully it is a little bit more dialed back enough for this. Well, hi, welcome. We are going to be playing more Shadow the Hedgehog today, you know. We only have like, what, a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks until Sonic Cross Shadow Generations, so we kind of have to get a move on with this. I've definitely, this is definitely a case of, if I had started streaming sooner, like, I would have been able to get through all this without having to, like, rush through quite as much as I currently am, but it's all good, it's all fine. So yeah, I am actually kind of more on time than usual, which is kind of surprising, despite also not waking up at a particularly great time. But we might as well get started, because I am all set up and ready to go, so we'll hop back over to the game. Off screen, I went ahead and played through the first 2 stages of the Dark Path. The reason for this is, it's the same objectives that we already saw, and I didn't want the redundancy of that. So, I did do that on my own time. I kind of feel like the positioning of the webcam is a little bit off, but I can't quite place why. That seems a little bit better in terms of, like, head angle, so we'll go with that. So yeah, we'll start off with Cryptic Castle. Once again, we'll be skipping cutscenes that we've already seen just for the sake of time.
Black claims to have knowledge of my past. He claims that I had promised to deliver the 7 Chaos Emeralds to him. I don't know if that's true or not, but he's the only one I can trust for clues about my past. I defeated those who dared to try and stop me. Now, 2 of the Chaos Emeralds are mine. The 3rd emerald was said to be inside of some kind of cyberspace database. I went into this digital realm, destroyed the core program, and got the emerald. Now there are 4 left, and I must find them.
So like in Sonic Adventure 2, we do get the little character recaps, which is always a nice touch. I imagine it must have taken a lot of work to record all these, actually, because of how many different branching paths there are. Though I guess you could just splice things together pretty much, so you don't have to record like 1 line for each stage and then just splice it together with the previous, whatever stage routes you end up doing. So yeah, Cryptic Castle, this time we'll be tackling the dark side objective, which is actually a little bit tougher in my opinion, at least from my practice run. I actually had a lot of trouble with this one, finding the lanterns that we have to light. But again, I did play, well, it wasn't really a practice run if I needed to do it anyway, because of obviously needing to get all the endings. But still, so what counts as a dark enemy? I guess it's Eggman's in this case. Again, this is a really weird objective because we actually have to help Eggman, and also we have to fight his robots if we want a good rank, because the black arms actually count as the hero point enemies instead of Eggman's. So it's kind of interesting. Again, enemy of my enemy kind of situation going on here. Yeah, the objective is to light lanterns, so we definitely need a torch for most of the stage. So we have to just go in and light everything. Again, ironically, you'd think you would want to have to fight the Black Arms for Eggman, since they're attacking his castle, and yet that's actually not what we want to do. We want to leave them alone for the sake of score. Typically, lighting the lanterns will also open up a pathway that'll help you to the next area with the lanterns, so it's sort of sequential in a way. This one's a little bit confusing. This is the one I got tripped up by right away. I ended up missing this one because you actually have to go backwards, if I'm not mistaken, for something. Also, that deals damage for some reason. Again, sometimes this game just likes taking pot shots, it feels like. That's just a Sonic thing, though. So we do have to go back and light that to open up this little bouncy thing to get us up to the second lantern. So that's why I screwed up on my personal run for the dark route, but the hero mission for that. Again, everything has multiple missions, including the final stage, so you have a branch at the very end, which leads to some very funny moments actually, where Shadow just kind of heel turns at the very last minute, and the game has to kind of try to explain it. Off screen on my own time, I actually looked up some routes, because every route in Shadow the Hedgehog has a number, meaning it's really easy to see what route is what. So basically, in the case of any ending that takes you through the neutral path, but then you veer off to Lava Shelter at the last possible moment, is really funny, because Shadow, and props to the developers, they actually did animate the cutscene with all of the different potential, like, stages that you could be in for that. But it's still really funny, just suddenly Shadow, after, like, you know, just stopping. What is happening? I could not actually turn for some reason, but it's like, in the case of, like, Air Fleet, if you, like, help Tails stop the Black Arms from, like, shooting down the president's plane, you end up back at, Lava Shelter, which just has the very funny cutscene of Shadow afterwards realizing, wait, he's an android, and he needs to go, see Eggman. So it's just a sudden, like, swerve for the story that's just kind of funny more than anything, in my opinion. Again, a lot of the routes don't really, like, lead into each other very elegantly. That is definitely one of the more egregious examples, I would say. Just because of, like, no setup for Shadow being an android up to that point. You miss all the setup for it by not doing the true neutral path. So, again, it just ends up being kind of silly more than anything. Also, with the little keys you can see around stages, you can actually use them to unlock secret vaults that often have, like, alternate pathways, and even, like, special, like, equipment, I think. The other thing worth mentioning is with the dynamite, obviously that'll break the walls instantly, but obviously we're holding a torch, so we would immediately, like, blow ourselves up. So, I'm not gonna worry about that for now. So we'll just proceed to the normal path, I think. Actually, it's this way. That's just for, like, if you need an extra torch for this lantern right here. This is a case where we actually do have to fight Eggman's robot, so it's an odd stage, and this happens a lot in this game, where you basically have to take a forced penalty. Basically, if you do anything to, like, detract score, or, like, to build up hero score while you're doing the dark mission, or vice versa, you end up having a score penalty at the end. It's not like a huge score penalty at that, but it is worth mentioning if you're trying to get all A ranks. I think lighting that lantern opens up this pathway to the final lantern, so you basically do end up in a different spot compared to the hero route. Or, like, the hero route actually ends back in that room, because Cheese is somewhere in there. But, like, the neutral route, basically. So, again, a lot of the paths do diverge, so you would have to actually go out of your way for some things. And again, ironically, for the dark-only path, you actually do have to fight the Black Arms here, just to be able to hitch a ride. So again, sometimes the game forces you to lose score, unfortunately. Yeah, still trying to get mic settings all set up. It almost feels like it might be a little bit too quiet now, but then again, I tend to have the game set pretty low, so it should be okay. But yeah, if you think things should be adjusted, be sure to let me know, and I'll do my best to audio adjust accordingly, because again, still just trying to kind of figure everything out here. But that went really well. If you decide at the last minute you don't want to do this mission, or you went the wrong way, you can always use the checkpoint to go back to earlier in the stage. And oddly enough, I think the boss is still here. So we do still have to fight Eggman, which is like the constant weird thing about this game, is sometimes even by doing the mission, you end up still having to like do the boss, which can feel very contradictory at times. That's way better than the D rank I got on my own time. So yeah, not too bad. This fight should be the same. I don't know about the cutscene though.
Another Chaos Emerald.
What are you doing here, Shadow?
Doctor, I don't want to fight with you, but I need those Chaos Emeralds. They hold the secret to my...
Enough of this nonsense! The Chaos Emeralds belong to me! All of them! No one gets in my way. Those who do will be destroyed. So stand clear or I will crush you! Just as I will those black creatures. Now, let me show you the power of my latest...
So yeah, a bit of a swerve despite just helping him, and suddenly now he's trying to beat us up. It's very interesting actually. This fight is really designed for like weapons, and this is definitely the easiest fight because you can just basically get weapons right away and deal a ridiculous amount of damage. Every other fight with the Egg Breaker feels a lot more arduous, I feel, which is again, I guess one good thing about if we're gonna have to do one twice, this would be the one because at least it's the fastest compared to like the one in the digital area that we'll be seeing next time actually. I guess we should be getting a new cutscene though, because we did go to a different path this time. But I actually don't remember... Oh, I think I know what stage is next, and I'm kind of like mildly concerned if it is the one I'm thinking it is.
Mr. President, there's an emergency.
What now?
It seems as if our ground forces have been able to contain the Black Arms. But apparently enemy reinforcements have arrived, and Central City is being invaded.
How? How can this be?
Shadow, let me share with you a piece of your past. It's filled with nothing but hatred and contempt for the humans.
Hatred and contempt for the humans.
You were the ultimate life form, but the humans feared you and wanted to destroy you. And they did. Now, you must amass revenge on those humans. Unleash your anger and ultimate powers on them.
Alright, so this stage kinda sucks, I'm gonna be honest. It actually sucks more if you're trying to do the hero route, I'd say. Because you basically have to use a vacuum gun to suck up all the bombs, which is like very difficult actually. You have a time limit too of 8 minutes. But the dark route is to activate all the bombs that have been set up here, which is actually way easier to do by comparison, I'd say. I think we just have to attack them or something? I actually don't know. There we go. That definitely was not the most thought out plan I've ever had. This is like the most easy one to miss, despite it being at the very beginning, which is kind of typical of this game. It almost feels like this game tends to be very cryptic. This is definitely one of those stages where if you're playing like for the first time, this one is gonna completely be awful the entire time. But like, if you kind of know what you're doing, it's not awful, which again, isn't necessarily a defense of it, because obviously it's like, oh well, if you know what you're doing, it's not a problem. It's like, that can be said about a lot of games, to be blunt. So that's, again, not really, you know, excusing the level design at all, but just kind of like an observation, I suppose, where it's like, it definitely feels like it's intended to be kind of a trial and error level, which I'm not really a big fan of. Again, this was definitely like one of my least favorite levels as a kid, because I remember getting extraordinarily stuck on this stage because I could not find everything I needed for either objective. But nowadays that I have like the ability and the knowledge to easily look up things on the internet, it's actually not that bad. I kind of sworn the gun is supposed to be able to activate bombs also, so I don't entirely know what's happening there. What next? I think we also need Chaos Blast to get through there. This is probably just for a key, but just to show it off, because I don't even know what's behind there. Again, I'm not really picking up keys in this playthrough, partly because if I want to go through on my own time, having all the keys in the stage means it'll be a little bit easier to, like, look up a guide and easily decipher which ones I'm missing, versus, like, if I pick up one or two and then it's like, okay, which ones do I actually need? Wow, the cars control awful in this game. So yeah, I don't recommend using vehicles. They all play terribly. So this is number 4. So once again, we have to destroy all of the gun robots to get through there. I guess you can actually activate them just by dealing damage. It's also kind of impressive, actually, how like open this level is. It's very much a sandbox level, which is definitely different, I would say, than even a lot of other Shadow levels. Like, it kind of is a loop. Oh yeah, that's the vacuum gun in question. I was like, why am I being pulled backwards? It's because of the weapon that they're providing you in case you're doing the hero mission. And the little shadow box, if you unlock it, I would recommend the weapon there, because I think it has like infinite ammo or something, meaning you can like suck up as many objects as you want, and thus you don't have to worry about, like, you know, defeating another enemy and picking up another weapon. Truth be told, I don't know where the last one is. Luckily we still have 4 minutes to find it, so we're not in danger by any means yet, yet being the optimal phrase here. But genuinely, I am, like, actually racking my brain trying to remember where the hell this is. This is pretty much a dead end. Also, because it's kind of a loop, checkpoints aren't really that helpful for deciphering things in this stage. In other stages, obviously, you can go by checkpoint order for some things, but that's really not applicable here. Okay, this is the right way, I think. So, nope, this is not the right way. This is, like, going backwards in the stage. Again, we've only hit 3 checkpoints, which is always a good sign. But yeah, this is definitely, like, one of the worst A ranks, in my opinion. One of the most, like, challenging, at least.
This is for my... Don't let him get away!
I could have sworn there was another path somewhere. Near, like, the acid river place. I'm probably just being really unobservant. I think that's what's happening. Like, I think it is actually behind where this one bomb was, and I just ran right past it. So we're gonna double back over here, because I think it is actually behind this dynamite. So we actually do have to detonate that to proceed. There we go. Back on track, and we only have 1 more to go, so this shouldn't be too bad. I know exactly where this one is, so much easier. Also, one interesting thing is you can actually put out fires with melee attacks in some cases, and that will contribute to your hero score, which makes sense. Alright, we should have to take this rocket, and it should be beyond this point, so we'll mosey on over here. One thing I just thought about is it's interesting how the springs still keep, like, the red and, like, green kind of design of, like, old Sonic springs, but they look all worn down, basically, because they're trying to make them look a little bit more gritty. Same with the springs, where they're a little bit more, like, messed up compared to traditional springs in the Sonic series. Alright, so here we go, last one. We also have invincibility for this, so that's nice. If Shadow will actually target the right enemy, that'd be great. So all we have to do is find a way back up there. Actually, we can probably hit it from here. Yeah, there we go. That was not nearly as bad as childhood me remembered it being, but again, being able to just Google solutions definitely helps quite a bit in terms of navigation for a very maze-like level like this. Oh yeah, I remember what the next level is, and that's also— oh wow, that was not a good rank. I definitely got pretty lost, so it makes sense.
So, you finally come to realize just how abominable these humans are. It's time to make all final preparations for our ritual. Hidden inside that space colony ark is the most powerful weapon, able to pierce stars. The Eclipse Cannon.
Piercing the stars.
That's right. The 7 Chaos Emeralds are needed to demonstrate its full power, or tomorrow's prosperity ritual will all be for nothing.
Prosperity ritual? Tomorrow?
Now, go! What fools. Humans created the Eclipse Cannon to protect themselves from terror. Instead, it will be used to destroy mankind.
I remember this level being kinda bad too, so we'll have to see how this goes. Alright, we're thrown right into it. This mission is also unique because I don't think there's a full 3 missions. I think there's only like a handful of missions because there's like not a whole lot of like options of paths. We're at the farthest point. So I think it's only like neutral and dark. Yeah. So there's another one like this where there's only a hero and neutral on the corresponding opposite side. But this one kind of sucks because you're at the mercy of the lock-on. Sometimes it doesn't want to lock on to the thing you want it to lock onto, so we might end up just spam firing a little bit. But basically, we were trying to disable the defense shields around the Space Colony Ark in order to gain access to it for probably one of the most famous cutscenes in the game, actually, just because of the absurdity of the reference that this cutscene has. Basically, there's also some choice making here. Basically, I'm saying basically a lot. You have a choice actually between jumping off early and in some cases getting like a checkpoint, or in other cases like you can just skip ahead essentially. We actually didn't break that, unfortunately. This happens, so this is a problem. So we actually have to go back for that late— actually no, we can't proceed at all. That's a restart. Luckily we have no shortage of lives for this. I didn't have that happen in my practice attempts of this stage. Well, I say practice attempts when again, it was just one playthrough because I wanted to get the other opposite ending in the stage. But yeah, that did not happen to me before, so I definitely have made the decision that I'm gonna go for checkpoints if I can. Like, if I have an option to jump off of the little, like, alien bird thing that we're riding and hit a checkpoint, I'm definitely gonna take it because I don't want to have a lot of issues like that. Actually, can we reach that from here? I'm pretty sure we'd be able to. This might be a little bit slower, but hey, consistency is nice. And yeah, actually getting a checkpoint's good, so we don't have to worry about, you know, redoing everything at the end. I don't think that's the case for all of them. I think some of them are in positions where you do have to use the little, like, flying creature here to deal damage. I also wish you could use the gun, because it actually deals more damage. Like it just kind of tore through the shield generator in a way that we definitely didn't have with the actual missiles, weirdly enough. Also, I do like how, like, the boss from Sonic Adventure 2 essentially is just a normal enemy now, which kind of shows the power scaling for Shadow here. We also have Artificial Chaos. We'll be very much familiar with those in a little bit, for better or worse. We have a very notorious mission coming up before too long. I don't know what happened there. I just kind of glided to the side of the stage and then like slipped off. That happened. So our rank is probably kind of toast by now, because of losing a lot of points from that. But again, I do feel like the difficulty curve kind of fans outwards. So like the True Hero and True Dark missions are a lot harder than the other missions. So yeah, it makes sense that this is going to be the toughest part. We're pretty close to the end anyway, so... This level's Shadow the Panzer Dragoon. Basically, that's a very good analogy, but hello, welcome Esper. Hope you're doing okay. Yeah, this is like kind of a rail shooter. I almost feel like Shadow doesn't experiment enough with gimmicks like this. Like, I almost wonder if it would have been cool if they had gone farther with this concept instead of just basically using this for like one stage. At least if you do the True Dark route, you end up getting used to the mechanics because they at least introduced them in Cryptic Castle. It's not just out of nowhere, so you kind of generally know how to control these, even if in this case you actually have to like aim at targets too, which is a little bit different than in Cryptic Castle, where it's a lot more just a flying section. Is it not going to take me over the actual like ground of the stage? That might be a problem. I would really like to land, especially as I just lose half my health there. Alright, so we're just gonna jump off just to be on the safe side. Again, I don't really trust this game sometimes. I did not mean to hit pause, also. Like, where am I even trying to go here? I guess over here. That's not very clear, actually. But again, I'm not taking any chances. I want the checkpoints. I also am hoping I didn't miss anything. There's a very good chance we missed the shield generator already, but we're hoping for the best here. Yeah, this is like straight up just the boss from Sonic Adventure 2. There's like ones without the missile launchers and others with. I don't know if that's safe to pass through, if that's literally like delivering energy. That feels a little bit dangerous. Is there ground nearby? There is, so we're gonna jump off here and, you know, play it safe, not take too many chances. Yeah, this is like way more efficient than just using the little, like, mountain here. I don't know why the missiles do so little damage, it feels like, compared to everything else. It's also nice because we're kind of taking the scenic route in a way, because obviously you can just fly through the entire stage if you're like really good at controlling that. I'm not, so I'm taking my time. Okay, a little bit scary, but we got through. Also, we can speed up with A. I don't know how to slow down. I don't know if it's... I don't want to chance pressing, like, Y or anything, because that might cause more problems. We also have these little, like, water droplet things. Those are actually refills for it. So if you're running low on health, you can do that. Oh, this is a really powerful gun. Oh, I was hoping I could reach it from there, because that would have made my life a lot easier. Actually... yeah, he is actually aiming up there. There we go. Well, that makes things a lot simpler. I actually think the last one we might have to actually attack with the little flying enemy. Well, not really an enemy in this stage. But again, I do feel like this game is sort of designed with the 5 main paths in mind. Because, again, a lot of times you just have weird swerves if you end up not doing it. story-wise. You just have like weird diversions in plot. Though in one case, the hero route, also because the stage is bad, I actually think it makes more sense to do the hero route compared to the true hero route. Just because, oh shoot, it suddenly sped up. That was really unfortunate, actually. There we go. I should not have gotten that, to be honest. You know, flying face first into it. I definitely should have died there. But I'm glad that worked out. So that should put us to one of the most iconic cutscenes of this game, in a way. And last stage. Which again, almost... I'm kind of torn on the route from this stage to the next one. I almost feel like it makes more sense in other ways going through a different route.
Arc to headquarters! Arc to headquarters! Come in! Come in! Shadow's penetrated the Arc. He's headed toward the control room of the Eclipse Cannon.
Come in, Eclipse Cannon. He must be stopped at all costs. Take him out. That's an order.
10-4. Copy that. This is Arc Defense Unit Blue Falcon. I'm engaging the Hedgehog.
So I'll be honest, I totally forgot about this fight, and I was just earlier today thinking about hating this fight, so I completely blocked it out between then and the actual start of stream, apparently. But yeah, Sega actually worked on F-Zero GX, so one of the enemies is just straight up called Blue Falcon in this. We have another F-Zero reference later on as well in the hero route, which we'll be seeing next time. But there's also an enemy called Black Bull, which I think is also an F-Zero reference. Wow, this kinda isn't great, trying to get back up to this platform. There's like only one spring. I thought it would be a little bit more easily set up than that. But this is basically just the same fight as Heavy Dog and also like the semi-dark route. So again, basically you have similar boss fights in both cases. But in this case, it's flying around instead of just, you know, moving around the arena, you know, horizontally. But it has like the particle cannon and everything, so it's a very comparable fight. I actually think this is easier just because it doesn't drop mines, so you can just basically deal damage very easily with that initial gun and get enough ammo to basically carry you through the rest of this fight without too much resistance. But now we have a problem. There's like one cannon left, but I don't think we can easily get it. Also, I don't think I dropped them in accessible places, so that's also unfortunate. That happens sometimes, just the drop location was poor. There we go. Or I think maybe they despawned because we didn't get... Oh, okay. I was afraid of falling off the stage. That was part of the reason for my initial like hesitation there. But now we'll be able to finish this no problem. Wow, it takes a lot of shots apparently. And now we get Chaos Blast when we don't actually need it. Again, the infinite ammo would actually be more helpful than Chaos Blast in this case. And that's the case for a lot of these like side bosses, where just the infinite ammo will make things so much easier and be way more of a buff than anything else. Now we're moving on to the last cutscenes and stage.
We are the Black Arms. We are here to take rule of this planet. Any attempts to resist are futile and will result in death. You humans are so pathetic.
Damn you.
As of today, this planet is mine.
You're crazy. We will not.
Now, we will begin to exterminate all of the world's leaders who resist.
What?
Annihilation for this planet is near. It is time to embrace the dawn of your demise and despair.
Sir, are you all right?
Never mind me. What about the people of Central City?
No need to worry, sir. Orders were issued yesterday, and everyone has been evacuated to the safe zone.
Very good, Commander.
Now what's going on?
Commander! The invaders! Estimated over 1,000 black aliens inbound! They've penetrated our outer perimeter!
What?
According to reports, Shadow's also been sighted with the black aliens.
Shadow? I don't believe it.
So he's finally decided to show himself. Attention all command units! Mobilize all mech battle sections! Prepare all weapons to strike incoming vessels! Mobilize Diablon!
But sir, it's not ready yet!
I don't care! We have no other option! We must protect the President and the Chaos Emeralds at all costs!
Yes, sir!
Shadow, damn you! It's been 50 years. Justice will finally be served.
Shadow, I'm counting on you!
I know, Professor. The ultimate life form born to ensure peace and justice amongst all of mankind. Now, I know what I have to do.
Hello, I'm okay, I think. It's been a weird day. Not that that's anything new, I suppose. Just, it's complicated, but I'm okay at the moment. But we are moving on to our final stage. Basically, another way to get to the stage is Air Fleet, which involves basically destroying the plane. So I almost feel like the continuity also works okay if you go from Air Fleet to this. Just because, like, if you go up there, the plane is, like, really beat up for some reason, which would almost imply that Air Fleet also happens. So it's very confusing, actually. A lot of the point A to point B progression of this story is just kind of a mess, basically. Again, I really say basically a lot. I need to not do that. I need to spice up my vocabulary. This is like the weirdest song in the game, and this is like honestly one of the best songs in the game, probably. But it's weirdly haunting, kinda. It's like kinda somber compared to like the usual like butt rock in Sonic games. And I think it actually contrasts extremely well in a way that is very much indicating just through atmosphere that this is the dark path. This is as far dark as you can go in this game. So I think it actually captures the atmosphere really well. Again, there's a lot that this game I think does really well. There's a lot that this game does kind of poorly also. Another weird quirk of the stage is the little walls you can break through are like the only other thing other than rings to actually increase neutral score. Everything else will increase like pure or dark. To the point that it's actually believed to potentially be a dev oversight more than anything. Like it was supposed to contribute to like one score type and then didn't by accident or something. But I almost wonder if it's because you have to break through so many, and there's like barely any Black Arms soldiers as you go along, that they were afraid of basically making it really hard to get an A rank because there's no other ways to get score in this stage past the opening part. Because basically the Black Arms are mostly outside of the main area at the start, but once you get deeper in, you don't run into them hardly ever. I don't know if this is a good call, to be honest, so we will be switching out though. We also have a really cool set piece here, where the camera is like from the view of the security camera, and you basically have to dodge and like stay out of sight because it will like attack you. It's really cool actually. And again, like, a lot of Shadow the Hedgehog is not great as a game, but there's a lot of like credit where credit's due moments where it's like, you know what, this actually kind of is a neat idea. And again, this is why I just genuinely feel like, as easy as it is to like make fun of Sonic games a lot of times, a lot of them are made with such heart that I find it like difficult to actually like criticize them a ton. Like, Sonic games obviously are just like kind of a meme to hate on at a point. But a lot of them are like sincere enough in terms of their efforts of like game design that I really can't like be as harsh to them, but I'm also coming from this from the perspective of a fangirl. I fully concede. But it's very much like the Sonic 06 situation, I would say, where it's like a not great game that at least feels like it has heart in a way that I can respect. Which again is why I almost would put something like this or something like this or 06 over Forces. Just because Forces is such a like nothing game in a way, it just kind of feels like the most rushed Sonic game in a way that means it kind of doesn't even feel like it has as much soul as something like 06 or Shadow or even like some of the really bad games. So it's one of those situations where it's often debated what is the worst Sonic game, and I think genuine arguments could be made for a few of them, but personally I would rather have a game that tried, I guess, to have heart, and then failed in other aspects rather than like Forces, which is like fundamentally not a bad game. I would actually be willing to say that. I think Forces is like just very mid, but the atmosphere around everything else is what makes it not good, in my opinion. But even then, I actually also think Forces is a tad overhated. Definitely not high on my list of favorite Sonic games by any stretch, but even then, I do feel like it's more just mid than anything, and I, again, almost feel like even if Forces was bad, I would actually respect it more. Because if it was bad, it means they actually tried to inject some level of ambition into it that didn't pan out, basically. It's like 06, okay camera, 06 is kind of a game that buckles under its own ambitions in some ways, and then also just not having enough dev time is the other main catalyst for that. But I almost feel like Forces is like very safe by comparison, and that's that game's biggest issue, is just being too safe. So again, like a different problem of like some games just kind of cripple under their own ambition while others are just like so safe to the point of like having no risks, basically. It's kind of like the discussion that comes up a lot about Mario, actually, with like the new Super Mario games, how they're good games, but they just kind of lack the ambition of others. So they end up being kind of like seen as not very good, and have developed not a great reputation, not because they're bad, but just because they don't feel like as much passion is put into them compared to other games. I don't know if this is making any sense. Me trying to explain my thoughts on game design. Hi Peter, thank you for the hug emote. Okay, we made it. Cool. We have 14 lives, so we're not like in any danger. I just, you know, we're close to the end. I would like to have a good rank if we can. Yeah, I hope everyone is doing okay today. We're just about to wrap up the dark ending, which is very interesting. And then we'll be moving on to the neutral, or the semi-hero path, which is actually probably one of my favorites. If you know about this game, you will know 100% why it's one of my favorites. It's for both positive and negative reasons, I'll say that much. Because again, a lot of times my philosophy with Sonic is I'd rather a game have heart and not pull it off perfectly well than just to kind of like, you know, not try, basically. Not to say that no effort was put into something like, you know, Forces, for example. But it feels more by the numbers, I suppose. And again, Forces has its, like, moments. So I don't think it's a complete, like, waste, in a way that some make it out to be. But again, maybe I'm just approaching this from the perspective of someone who's been a Sonic fan, Sonic fan my whole life, so I'm, like, more generous than like others would be towards these games. Where am I going? Here, apparently. There's no cover. Cool. Nice. And now we're at the end, so I'm just gonna kind of blitz it to the end of this room. Actually, we have infinite ammo. I don't have to worry at all. We can just go over here and do this. I hope the auto targeting actually holds up here. But yeah, that takes care of the final dark mission for this route. Not bad. Again, the hero A rank is kind of tricky just because there's nothing to get hero score off of. So it's more about just doing it fast and also avoiding enemies more than anything. Yeah, easy A rank. Now we get to fight that one really annoying boss again.
Get out of my way. Shadow, I can't let you go. Not like this.
You're the one who destroyed the Ark and killed everyone on it. It's time to settle this once and for all.
Right. I know what I have to do. I was born to bring order to the humans. These humans, they don't value life. They're going to pay. Pay with their lives for what they've done.
You?
Sonic, if you try to stop me, I'll destroy you too.
This is for my family and for Maria. I'll settle this once and for all with my own hands.
Let's do this, Shadow.
I don't know if any 3D Sonic that I've seen are good. See, here's the thing. I think a lot of Sonic games are actually, like, not good in some ways. Like, if we're talking pure objective merit, a lot of Sonic games have some iffy parts to them that make them not great, to be honest. But it's just a matter of, like, what am I trying to say? Trying to kind of, like, work through a few, like, design philosophy elements of Sonic. I'm trying against this boss that I'm notoriously bad at, and talking about this game design. But basically, like, what I'm trying to say is a lot of Sonic games have flaws, and it's a matter of, like, being able to it's very easy to just home in on the flaws with Sonic games, because, like, a lot of them have major fundamental issues. But there's also a lot of charm to them, so a lot of times they just kind of ride off of that charm in a way that I almost feel like other game series don't as much. Like, there's a lot of glitches in these games, there's a lot of, like, weird quirks to the physics and everything, so inherently these are more, like, hit or miss than other, like, 3D platformer kind of games. But, like, the vibes of the series can... Oh, I didn't know there was no, like, platform back there. Cool. See, here's my biggest issue with this particular fight. The camera sucks. You cannot move it. Meaning, you have to go around this arena looking for things. You literally can't see what you're looking for. Or if, you're looking, like... What am I trying to say? like, you can't see, like, the direction you're facing, basically, very easily. So it'd be really nice to be able to, like, turn the camera and actually, like, look for a weapon or something, instead of just kind of, like, walking backwards, essentially, and hoping you don't, like, fall off a cliff. And yeah, Generations is good. Weirdly enough, I'm kind of colder on Generations than some. It's very much a case of, it's an anniversary game, so a lot of things with its game design are not a problem, in all fairness, because it's designed to just be a little anniversary romp, basically. Thanks, Shadow, for facing the wrong way. But I do feel like it's just a matter of, as someone who's like a huge Sonic fan, I have a couple of qualms, and some of them are like really nitpicky, to be totally honest. For example, stage selection. I don't like how they always lump in Sonic 3 and Knuckles nowadays. I wish they would give Sonic 3 an actual like stage in a game like Generations, which they almost never do. So like, just small things like that, where it's like, I want more game, basically. That's the short answer, but just like, in Sonic Generations, there's no CD stage, and I think that's a missed opportunity. Yeah, this fight just kinda sucks, to be honest. This is like one of the worst fights. This is like the Undertale, like, Sans fight of Shadow the Hedgehog. Where it's just like, oh, you did bad, so we're gonna put you against a really annoying boss fight. I'm not sure if that was their actual design philosophy for this fight, but it just kind of feels like that a little bit, where let's just make a really, like, difficult fight because of, like, this being the, like, ultimate dark path. Sans is fun. I need to actually try that fight again. It's been a bit since I've actually ever tried to fight Sans. Partly just getting back to the fight is the annoying part. That's my issue with, like, Sans, is just getting to that route sucks. The actual fight seems interesting from what I've seen. Like, there's just not enough weapons in the stage. You just can't get ammo for this. You can use the website, true. I just worry about things like, you know, the physics not being quite right, but that might also just be me as a Sonic fan, overthinking things like, you know, game feel. Especially for something like Undertale. It's like, is there literally nothing else in this stage? Like, for real? For real? Again, it would really help to be able to see anything. Yeah, there's like no other weapons. They just give you a couple of handguns and that's it. That really sucks, actually. Because that just means, like, how are you supposed to do this fight fast? Because otherwise you're just kind of chipping them out, essentially. I need that. And also just the hitbox of the hand, and Sonic's hitbox too, because you tend to home in on Sonic. So what happens is you end up just hitting the arm because Shadow's like doing a weird like spiral motion to try to home in on Sonic. So it's really frustrating. It's like, yeah, there's literally nothing else in this stage. And yeah, sometimes if you hit the arm, it cancels your homing attacks, which is really frustrating. Barely not enough. I don't know if this works. Like if it pauses his animation long enough to actually deal damage with that. It is doing damage, so I'll take it, but again, this is like, this sucks. I'm gonna be honest. Again, as someone who's actually been having a pretty okay time with this game, for the most part, with this little stream playthrough, I won't defend this fight. This is just legitimately not fun, because it's just like, basically a damage sponge. I haven't even played Deltarune at all. I think I only did like the little opening, like, section of it. And by that I mean just the little menu to choose your character for the game to tell you, oh yeah, that doesn't matter. That's literally all I've played of Deltarune. See, my problem is I want to stream both at some point. I actually kind of want to do the Switch version just to do the bonus fight, because I'm very curious about that fight as someone who I don't even remember anything of it. I think I watched it once, but I don't remember the Switch version fight at all. And I actually would be curious to see how that plays out, if it's like a super boss or something. I remember when I tried to get to Sans one time, I did end up getting through like Undying really fast, like second or third try. And that's something I felt very proud about for a long time. But I don't know how much of it was just kind of a fluke at the time. Yeah, we're at 6 minutes for this boss fight. Like, literally what is the A rank time? Because there is no way to go fast here. Like, there's no way to do this quicker. Unless you just hold on to all your ammo until the very end, and then just unload whenever you have Chaos Blast charged up. I guess that would probably be the best strat. And we are definitely skipping the credits for this ending, based on what the ending song is. Yeah, I'm not sure what they expect. I'd have to look up like a speedrun of this fight.
Finally, I've got all the Chaos Emeralds. Shadow, what are you gonna do with them? I'm Shadow, the Hedgehog. I was created to bring order and justice to the humans. With the power of these emeralds, I'm going to destroy this damn planet. This is who I am.
Anyway, this is like probably the most likely to meet the stream, so we're skipping it since that's like almost dead, which also is not a song I'm like super crazy about. It's weird, the ending songs I'm not really into, but I actually like a lot of the supplementary music, like the level themes. And it also just might be because I've never really heard these songs, and also, I should clarify, I haven't heard these songs since like growing up playing the game. I almost think it's a case of finding some of the heavier songs just a little bit like scary or too intense. If I listen to them now, I wonder if I'd feel so negatively about certain songs. So for the final time of the stream playthrough, we will be going through Westopolis. I do want to show it one more time because we're doing the hero route this time. Also because I can't skip ahead, it's a live stream. I literally can't do that, so if I could, I probably would, but no option. This one sucks again because there's like a flying Black Arms enemy that often is just slightly outside of the draw distance, and I always miss it. No matter how many times I try this stage, I feel like I always miss this one. Alright, so neutral. Well, I keep saying neutral hero. That feels like kind of a contradiction, but like semi-hero. In some ways, I actually prefer going semi-hero until a specific stage, and then basically veering off course to like the final stage of the true hero path. Because the true hero path has one stage that's really obnoxious in terms of like difficulty. We'll be tackling that next week, so I'm off the hook until then. But expect a lot of complaining once we get to that part of the true hero story. Yeah, those two there, I think, are the ones I often miss on my personal playthroughs of this stage, so I basically hung around that area way longer than usual to try to ensure that we actually didn't miss that this time. Westopolis is a fun stage though. Mostly its theme, I think, is really well liked. It's come back quite a few times. It's been in a few games, I want to say. I think it was also in regular generations too, as like a song you can play in like the music selection. So hypothetically, it's like the song might still be in the game, even if Westopolis itself has not been confirmed. Again, the irony of chaos control is bad, because then you'd skip all of the objective enemies, so the powers don't really make sense in this game in some ways. Chaos Blast makes more sense, but Chaos Control is like, you'll constantly get it, and there's no point, because if you're trying to do the hero route, you literally will skip everything. So, again, weird game design. Now, Generations and Colors, I'd say, are probably the most, like, stable / consistent Sonic games. Like, the most, like, objectively good Sonic games, though I personally kinda don't like describing things inherently in terms of objectivity. Just from the standpoint of, like, a lot of art is subjective, and, like, Sonic is definitely a good example of that, because I still really love these games, even though a lot of them aren't great by, like, objective merits. This one is more like a to tolerate, I would almost say. Like, I like parts of the game, other parts are kind of a chore. But in general, this playthrough, which again, started off screen, but I have warmed up to this game a little bit, where it's like, I don't hate it as much as I did as a kid, which also might just be down to me being more, like, receptive of, like, a darker tone. I almost feel like it was a case of, like, trying to be super innocent as a kid, to the point of just avoiding edgy media, and probably to a fault, to be fair. One moment. Had to cough, it's been an allergy day. Trying to do math in my head. I think we're good, actually. I think? Yeah, there should be 3 in the final area, I think, so we didn't miss any. But yeah, everything has slightly darker hues, and again, like, even these little item balloons look a little bit worn out, like, kind of, they've been roughed up a bit. That might be happening a bit today. Wow, my voice sounds really froggy now.
Disgusting black creatures, get out of my sight. Perfect.
So I think the first cutscene coming up should be a repeat, and then the next one should be the stage cutscene. So we'll sit through that, but we'll be skipping this one.
Now that was sweet, Shadow.
Yeah, well, I'm not here to save you.
Thought you might say something like that. How about a little friendly competition?
Don't waste my time.
We found the 3rd Chaos Emerald in this city. Our mission here is done. Now get going.
Guess that means welcome to the next level. Let's go!
Get back here.
Welcome to the next level was actually an old Sega slogan, if I'm not mistaken. So an interesting callback there. Lethal Highway. This stage is interesting. As a kid, I always had troubles with it.
Just gotta keep moving.
And I think it's partly because of how I played this game. I don't think I really liked using guns in this game very much. Partly just because of, like, rejecting the idea of Sonic games having guns. But you basically have to for this stage. Which unfortunately means some gun soldiers, because of the bad auto-aim, might end up catching strays, which will definitely hurt our ranking a little bit. But yeah, if you don't use guns, you basically can't do the hero mission. It's like almost impossible from what I understand. I'd be impressed to see someone try, because I actually genuinely don't know if it's possible. Just double checking, yeah, there's no neutral route for this one, so we're good to go on that front. Yeah, it feels like there's not enough feedback for this, because it's like, you're just hitting a shield the whole time. Well, that was bad. You can actually homing attack it to the point of just following it through, but I was too slow. So that's on me. Unfortunately, that will mess us up a little bit. Again, I think I did get an A rank on my own time, so I'm not really concerned about that, and also just A ranks in general. I don't want to commit to, like, 100%ing this game by any stretch of the imagination. That sounds like hell, to be honest. But I do feel like the hero side does have a very different sound to the dark side missions, which I actually really like. How it kind of feels like they're telling a story in some ways through, like, audio and other means, so it's not just purely through gameplay actions, but atmosphere also changes based on alignment. Again, there are a lot of elements to this game that are genuinely, in my opinion, fairly impressive, but again, a lot of things are like, I would not have designed the game that way. That feels like a fascinating choice. But yeah, the audio levels do seem a little bit better. I am kind of running up against where I set it to, like, limit peaking, so I may have to turn it down a little bit more. We'll see, though. But yeah, I noticed during the Guilty Gear stream a couple days ago, the mic was definitely peaking quite a bit when I went to edit. We have a ramp here, which makes me wonder, but nope, nothing of the sorts. In terms of, like, breaking the highway. Ow, I'm not having a good run of this stage. This is going pretty bad, if I'm being honest. As soon as the shield is down, it's not too bad. But yeah, I basically have, like, a limiter in place to, like, limit it, so if it does peak, it's not as bad, but you can kind of hear the audio distort if it ends up peaking. But yeah, shield's down, so all we have to do is just deal more damage, but we definitely need a gun for that. Because we're just kind of chipping away at this point. So yeah, I'll be taking this. Also, I think it's about to stop here, because it always stops at this spot, which is nice. That didn't do damage, I don't think. What happened? Huh. Weird. Yeah, if you can't hear it, that's a good thing. It means I've audio balanced things properly. But yeah, if you don't use guns, the stage sucks, but with guns, it's actually pretty easy going.
I won't allow them to.
But again, maybe it's just I've played this game too damn many times, have everything memorized to the point of like, oh, this seems easy, and then it'd probably be incredibly annoying to anyone not used to how everything works. Again, just play Shadow Reloaded, don't play the original if you want to try it. The fixed physics would go a long way to helping.
Hand over that Chaos Emerald, or else.
So, think you have a chance against me, do you?
Look, I don't take orders, especially from you. But I'm not here to fight you either. I'm collecting the emeralds to find my own answers, so why don't you just back off?
You still don't know your place, do you? Black Bull, I summon you. Behold, the wrath of Black Arms.
Woohoo! Now we're talking. Bring it on.
Come, Black Bull. Learn entire city and its inhabitants to
Check you out, big guy. Let's have some fun.
So our second F-Zero reference, again, since Sega around this time would have worked on GX and AX, AX being like an arcade version if I'm remembering right. To be fair, we actually have camera control in this fight, so that automatically makes this one of the better boss fights in my opinion. But as I was about to say, to be fair, I actually don't have the best F-Zero knowledge, so anything I say about F-Zero, probably take with a grain of salt. It's one of those things where I enjoy what I've played of the games, but I also just haven't gone my way to get really good at them. Most I've played is obviously 99, but even then, I'm not like a huge fan of it, just because I'm bad at F-Zero and everyone else who's like currently playing is really good at F-Zero to the point where I just immediately feel like outclassed to the point of getting bodied by everybody else. So yeah, once again our strategy for this fight is charge up hero gauge, and then not use chaos control, but instead just use the infinite ammo to, like, brute force the rest of the fight. Camera, please. I think it was because the boss got a little bit stuck on a building, of all things. So yeah, we want to charge this up, and then deal as much damage as we can. We have plenty of gauge though, so no worries. And after this, we'll get another repeat cutscene that we'll be skipping, and also one of the most famous lines of dialogue in the entire game, and also the namesake of the stream title. Actually, chaos control would help to keep him from moving around. So yeah, you might actually want to use chaos control, because you still have infinite ammo while using it. Just keep him from, like, constantly escaping. So yeah, I rescind my advice for that. Yeah, that was slow, partly because I didn't use chaos control. I think chaos control also slows the physical timer too for bosses. But again, regular stages it acts as a warp, so it's actually different than Chaos Blast, which is the same in every stage, basically.
Where's that damn fourth Chaos Emerald? Isn't that Tails?
Look at that! It's Eggman's theme park. He made it out of the rings he's taken from around the world. I've got to get those rings back.
A Chaos Emerald. This is just too easy. Guess it's my lucky day.
This is like the most specific observation I could make about this cutscene. But I like how the cutscene capitalizes the word fourth when he actually puts the emphasis on the word damn. Again, that's like the most nitpicky kind of, like, it's not even a complaint really, it's just an observation where it's like, kind of funny to me. That happens sometimes with Sonic games where it's like the captions don't necessarily line up. Just dubbing in general, I feel like that happens quite a bit, where something can be captioned really, like, emphatically, but then the actual, dialogue doesn't actually reflect that at all. So we're staying neutral for this. I mean, relatively speaking, compared to what we'll be dealing with next time, the hero mission isn't even that bad. But again, for the sake of just staying, like, true semi-hero, which is, like, the most confusing way to put it, might as well just try to stay consistent. But again, there are, in my opinion, benefits to going through this route until a certain point and veering off, just because I almost feel like it just dodges a lot of headache, even though you also miss out on another very iconic cutscene by not doing the true hero. I feel like I put too much thought into this game sometimes, which almost just I guess is a reflection of me being a Sonic fan.
Lose some rings, so what? If you hit the middle of
At least this is not as bad as some, from the standpoint of, from this point on, typically taking damage does not make you lose rings, so you don't have to worry about, like, accidentally getting hit and then losing everything. You can basically recover very quickly from a mistake. Obviously, the one exception is a game over. If you die, then you lose all your rings, and thus you're back to square one. I actually need to lay off a bit, I think. So I'm getting dangerously close to the number of rings I need, without really even trying. I'm gonna do something stupid. I'm gonna jump off on purpose. And the reason I'm doing this is so we don't have to worry about, like, going over the ring amount. Even without trying, I was getting really close, so... Now we have a bit of a buffer for rings. The one downside of doing that, I'm thinking about, is we don't have Chaos Control anymore. Obviously Chaos Control would be effective, but this stage actually has a point where it doesn't work anymore. So it basically, like, caps at a certain point, because I think some of the, like, zipline sections, you have to ride the zipline. Chaos Control won't go through them. And again, this is taking into account that there is a Chaos Control glitch that allows you to just infinitely boost to the end.
What was Eggman thinking when he made this place?
Yeah, normally, I do the hero route for this. So you'd actually almost have enough rings by now. Even without, like, the target practice stuff, even without that, we're well over. We were well close to getting that, last time, before I jumped off the platform.
Finally got out of that freak tent.
It's also really impressive how much dialogue was recorded for this game. Obviously, there's some duplicates here and there, but there is a lot of very specific dialogue for these stages that just, like, never plays, because, if you never do specific missions, you just won't hear this dialogue. Unless you commit to getting, like, all A ranks or something. Or if you're really a fan of this game, you could always go for the true completionist of 326 ending combinations. Which, I don't recommend going for that. Yeah, I don't know why my voice is so froggy today. It's probably allergies, but yeah, there were 326 possible combinations, and the game tracks them all. So to truly 100% this game, you would have to beat it 326 times. No thank you, that sounds like torture. That sounds absolutely awful.
Aren't you done yet? At this rate, the entire day will be wasted.
Yeah! Whole day wasted.
Hey, back off. Data retrieval isn't exactly my specialty.
Let me do it then.
Stop bugging him, Tommy!
An assassin?
Well, well, if it isn't Shadow. Your timing is impeccable. You know that Eggman fella pretty well, don't ya? Well, we need your help to hack into his computer. Don't ask why, and we don't have any more time to waste.
Well, what a coincidence. I'd like to know what the good old doctor's up to as well.
Whoa! This may be the big case. Espio, we're counting on you.
Roger that.
Well, so hi Storm, welcome to the stream. 3 stages left, that won't take that long actually. Mad Matrix is bad, I don't like the stage. I'm gonna be super blunt. The other stage is actually a little bit more reasonable. The requirements for this stage are probably some of the most absurd in the entire game, like straight up. Basically you have either missions of going to the like main database hubs, which is not great. But then the dark mission is to set off bombs along basically a giant rail track. It takes forever. At least, you know, if you don't look it up in advance first. If you actually know what you're doing, it probably wouldn't be too bad, but casually I remember spending a long time just going in circles, trying to find, like the last bomb I needed. So we are not doing either of those. Imagine if Eggman's data corrupted right now. Yeah, that would be bad. Also, why would you need to have a teleporter to go into your own computer? That's like a very specific feature, and I question why he would need that. We actually do need a gun, so we have to actually break that. Yeah, we have to hit these panels, which is easier said than done, because sometimes the lock-on doesn't want to work. Oddly enough, this one data center is actually mandatory. You have to activate this one, or terminal actually is the term they use.
The data is fragmented.
So yeah, this is the fun part of the stage, quote unquote. You have all these bombs, and you have to like physically run into them to set them off, like that. This sucks. Yeah, I'm really not a fan of this mission, just because it takes forever. And again, even SBO's, while not necessarily great in my opinion, at least it's shorter, because you have like direct, you know, pathways to things. It's like, oh, you need to go to this terminal next, so you have a direct idea of where you're supposed to go, even if it's also just kind of an ordeal getting to that point. When I was doing the other route, I literally just googled which one has the goal ring, because I didn't want to like manually check all of these spots to try to find the right place to go. But just trying to navigate this like maze of platforms and stuff to figure out how to even get to this, I could not be bothered. This also feels like another mission where it's like, how are you supposed to get hero score? There's like no Black Arms enemies around, unless they're like deeper in, because Eggman's robots are like the good guys in this mission. Again, I do feel like Shadow the Hedgehog is a game that would have had a lot of potential, but unfortunately kind of is a little bit obtuse to the point of like going overboard with its ideas to an unreasonable level, basically. So now we have these little platforms that move when we activate all the light panels. Sometimes if you move the camera, it'll just get stuck. So if you're wondering why I'm having this camera angle, I didn't have a choice in the matter, it just kinda got locked in there. It actually might be orange, this doesn't look familiar. Or maybe my memory is just that bad, that's the other option. Yeah, no, this is the right place. So the actual terminal's up, but I don't care. I just want to go to the goal ring. And to do so, I think we have to go all the way over here and activate this final platform. Which, some of these panels don't want to activate, I'm noticing. But yeah, actually the next stage is gonna be weird, because of the goal requirement for that one. So unfortunately, we actually can't go terribly fast in the next stage, just because of how it's set up. But yeah, overall that isn't too bad, and also we got another meme line in this fight. This boss fight with Eggman is very well known because of him saying the same thing, like, every attack, so get ready to hear a specific line that people like to make fun of a lot in this fight.
Perfect.
So that applies to a lot of Sonic dialogue, actually, is just the repetition of it is what makes these lines iconic.
So, I see you sneaky rats are back again, huh?
Damn, we've been detected.
Doctor, please tell me, I need to know about my past. Who am I? What am I doing here?
Are you still wondering who you are, Shadow? There's nothing to tell, Shadow. You have no past.
What?
Don't listen to him. He's just trying to trick you. You've got to focus. Destroy him and let's get out of here.
Oh, you little sneaky thief. I'll smash you to pieces.
All talk and no action.
I also forgot that Espio says damn in this fight.
You know what they say?
Yeah, you know what they say, the more the merrier is a very quoted line in the Sonic fandom, because that's like the only attack he uses in this fight, and he says it every time he uses it. Also, why is Eggman inside his own computer, now that I think about it? I mean, I guess he's trying to deal with all the, like, attacks. So yeah, it does play a lot in this fight. And again, oddly enough, this is the only version of the fight where he uses this specific attack. So that's why we didn't hear it in the other versions. Makes sense, because it's kind of more like... I almost said sci-fi to describe it, which I guess is apt. While the others set in the physical world, I feel like the attacks are a little bit more, like, straightforward in a way. Not that that's ever stopped Sonic from doing fantastic stuff. Betting an AI is the reason. That's fair. This is kind of an interesting plot, because it is all kind of linked to, like, computers. Another meme line that's gonna come up before too long.
I have no
And again, it almost feels like the plot gets a little bit lost if you don't stick with just one, like, route throughout the most part.
Perfect.
Because it just ends up getting kind of lost in the shuffle of bouncing between, like, different plot lines. This cutscene is good too.
What's up, Shadow?
Not you again.
Nice to see you too. Looks like those black creatures are headed out to space. We're on our way to the Ark, so I guess that means we're going too.
Ark.
Come on, let's roll. Next stop, the Ark.
Space colony. Ark. This place. So familiar. But why? This is where I... Maria? Died?
Oh yeah, bring it on! Looks like the party's getting started. Time to rock and roll! You up for this, Shadow?
So yeah, I find that line fascinating. We're on the way to the Ark, so I guess that means we're going too. It's like, something got lost in translation there. And also that cutscene, like, Sonic is very gung-ho here. But this level's interesting, because the hero mission is get the gold ring in 5 minutes. The neutral mission is get to the gold ring after 5 minutes.
What just happened?
So it's like, you have to wait. Thank you for the hydration check. I actually can't right now unless I pause the game. I'll make sure to do that in the next cutscene. Also, we have the same shield generators from the Dark Route, unfortunately. Luckily, we don't have to worry about them this time. Okay. I mean, we just started the stage, it's fine.
Not here.
Basically, every stage gives you a checkpoint right at the beginning, just because you have to backtrack a lot in most stages if you're trying to go for specific routes. If you have Sonic, he'll just kind of taunt you the whole time. Meanwhile, we can actually take a leisurely stroll through the Ark, because we have to wait 5 minutes anyway. Now, one thing I'm actually kind of interested in with my gender redeem, I didn't actually implement it because I wasn't sure how. Also, I'm not that clever at improv to be able to do something like that. To be totally honest, I feel like I just stumble over my words really badly. So yeah, this is kind of a throwback to the final rush and final chase from Sonic Adventure 2, I believe in you, thank you. I don't believe in myself though for this. And see, I just need to work up the courage to actually do it. Also, these platforms are weird. Shadow will always stop and you just kind of lose speed. Which again, where are we going? What happened there?
Not here.
Genuinely confused by what happened. Just gotta do it. Yeah, I know. That's how I need to be with a lot of things in life, is just commit. Commit to the bit, as they say. But it's just working up the courage to commit. That's, like, a little bit nerve-wracking sometimes. Okay, that's what was supposed to happen. The game decided to just be mean. One thing that I do feel like is kind of a shame from my personal understanding of Sonic X Shadow Generations is the Ark level that was demoed at, like, TGS. Was it TGS? It was TGS and Summer Games Fest, I think. They didn't really have elements of the Shadow Ark levels. I kind of wish they had kind of incorporated parts of both. Because I do feel like these levels do have... Oh boy.
Damn, not here.
This is the cursed level, apparently. Which is fine. This is like... If any level's gonna be cursed, this is not a bad one for... Actually, we only have 5 lives, so maybe it is a bad level to be cursed. Yeah, we might have a problem, actually, because Cosmic Fall, which is the stage after this, is actually kind of mean. So we might be in trouble. What would Peter do? I mean, I don't have as much, like... What's the word I'm looking for?
This saucer seems to hover above the
I tend to overthink things a lot more, for better or worse. Even really basic decisions I end up overthinking quite a bit. Alright, we're gonna play the safe this time. I'm gonna jump off the saucer. I'm not gonna try to make this jump on the saucer. Alright, so hopefully we don't fall off the ledge to our death this time. I'm actually gonna pick up a gun, because again, the game really wants you to use these, even though I feel like it's sort of counterintuitive. And kind of an excuse to just give enemies absurdly more health than they should have. Also, by the way, there's a strafe by holding down R. The game does teach you this. It's like never useful for much. So I almost never do it unless I'm just killing time. You can even do like side flips. It's like trying really hard to be Ratchet and Clank when you're like doing side flips like that.
I need 5 keys.
Again, I'm kind of moseying. I'm not worried because I'll have to just sit at the end anyway if I get there too fast. And again, even just taking my time, I still feel like I'm gonna get there before Sonic does. But I do like the return of these little rings, and they even make the same sound as they do in Sonic Adventure 2, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, having like these little gravity switches for this level, for like an Ark level in Sonic Cross Shadow would be really cool. But I don't think there's been like anything spotted like that so far from what's been shown. Also, there are some leaks floating around in terms of like level names, basically, just file names, nothing concrete. I'm putting the controller down, and we're gonna wait for 1.5 minutes. So if anyone has anything to talk about, let me know. Personally, I don't really have a whole lot to say. I've just been very tired today. Streaming's been feeling nice. Yeah, it's no Cage 2 Wisdom form. Kingdom Hearts is another game I've thought about streaming at some point, but I don't want to commit because these games are very long. Now, KH1 isn't that bad though.
I've got to find out the truth.
But in general, I have a lot of games in mind. It's just, you know, I'm a little scared to commit to like a long RPG as someone who can only like manage a 3-hour stream at best, and even then that wipes me out for like the entire next day. So I get a little bit nervous about the idea of doing a really long stream. You don't have to play it all at once. Yeah, my only issue is the longer a stream playthrough goes on, the more antsy I get over like actually finishing it in a reasonable amount of time. Like there's a slight nervousness of like, oh wait, this is taking forever, and I really want to move on to another project. So that's why I have some hesitation to even start like a really big game, just from the perspective of just like, what am I even trying to say? I don't think I've ever seen an idle animation. But yeah, I kind of like short games just because at least they're not like hanging over my head as much.
Will I ever find?
Because I almost feel like if I ever tried to stream a Persona, I almost feel like it would take a year to get through if I do 2 hours a day, and it's like 100 hours. That'll be a whole year. Or do another stream, that'd be the other option. Like Friday or something.
Damn it! What does it all mean? These memories, the doctor's actions and words. Nothing makes sense. Was it real?
It's been a long time, Shadow.
Who are you? And how do you know my name?
I know you, Shadow the Hedgehog. You killed everyone I loved. My family, Maria. I've been waiting all my life for this day.
What? Me? And Maria?
Maria was like a sister to me. She was the only family I knew. And because of you, she was killed. Witnessing it all, the plan to create that horrifying evil creature. That black creature, and that insane professor who unleashed it all.
So, the professor created me with Black Doom?
You don't fool me! It's not just about Maria. Thanks to you, everyone I knew and loved was killed when the Ark was destroyed. Worst of all, my family! Finally, justice is served!
If what you say is true, then I will respectfully accept my fate.
You mean to tell me that you really don't remember a thing?
But I just need some time to uncover the real truth.
Yeah, I was thinking about the short, and the last one is coming out tomorrow, I think. The Shadow Beginnings, Dark Beginnings, that's what it's called.
Is this whole place?
This is a fun stage, by the way. It sucks, though. It's like... It's so over, we're so back, the stage, because it can be really cool in some parts, and, like, absolutely aggravating in other parts. But I'm really curious to see what episode 3 is, because, like... I feel like episode 2 really left it, like, right up to events close to Sonic. like Sonic Generations, so I'm really curious to see how much more they can even do with it. But I've been really enjoying them, to be honest. I don't really have a whole lot to say about them, mostly just like character thoughts. That's nice to see like character focus again in Sonic, because I almost feel like the writing kind of strayed away from that a little bit. Generations, ironically, as a game, is one of the more like plot-wise basic Sonic games. So them going this all out for Shadow Generations is a little bit funny to me. Okay. Hey, remember when I said I was worried about the number of lives I have? This is why. This stage sucks. Partly because of collision detection. Basically, with these falling platforms, the problem with them is they're kind of like swaying around, like you can see, but that basically means it can be very difficult to land on them. And also, sometimes they'll start like spinning, and you have to like land on a spinning, rotating platform, and it's really annoying. But like conceptually, the stage is really cool. Just in practice, it's really annoying to actually like get through without dying a bunch of times. Like getting an A rank on this would probably be very difficult. Also, we're doing the hero mission. I actually don't need to listen to Black Doom right now. This is a rocket launcher. Okay. Oh, never mind. He's back. That was fast. Where are we going? Is this a spring? This is not a spring. And actually, we have to fall. Okay, that was completely unclear because the camera would not rotate down. Nice. Again, cool in theory. Execution kind of leaves a lot to be desired, in my opinion. Just because of just how, like, clunky some of the camera angles can be, to the point of, like, I don't see what you're supposed to do here. Also, the music's really good in this stage. Also, like, a 15-minute time limit is surprisingly generous. Anyway, this is, like, the meme stage because Vector's objective is very notorious.
Find the computer room.
I don't know why that became a meme, to be honest, but it did, so there you go. Had to show that off at least once. I think Artificial Chaos counts as G.U.N, so we'll leave that alone. Some actually argue that because of the True Hero story, involves, like, destroying all the Artificial Chaos on the Ark. That's why there are Artificial Chaos in every other route, because you didn't destroy them in the past, in any other circumstance. Mild spoilers for the True Hero route, but also the True Hero route can, like, really suck, so I'm already talking about it because I'm dreading it. Speaking of dread, this part is awful. I'm just gonna be blunt. Like, there's no good way to get through this section, as far as I'm aware. I wonder how Reload would feel with this, or Reloaded, I think. Like, if the improved physics would make it feel less awful platforming in this particular spot. I hope so, because that would help immensely. Also, the homing attack sometimes just doesn't want to work, so that's cool too. I do like how you have all the, like, grind rails from, like, Final Chase and such just falling all over the place, and, like, that one's spinning. But yeah, it's a case of you're at the mercy of the camera. If the camera decides to cooperate, this isn't too bad. If it doesn't decide to cooperate, you're just kinda out of luck. This is a really not helpful camera angle, because I can barely see Shadow on screen right now. There we go, we got a checkpoint at least, so we're not completely out of luck if we fall again. Time to redo everything, but this is the really stupid part of the stage. The vertically rotating platforms. Like, what are we supposed to do about that? Never mind, that actually works.
Did you try going down here?
cool. That was totally by accident, but it worked out, so I'll take it. Normally the stage sucks, so if I accidentally... What happened? I need to not talk is the story. This happened a lot on Monday, where it's like every time I was like, I'm doing okay, that's when I die. So yeah, maybe I should just stop talking when I'm doing well, and just like play it cool. Don't draw attention to me doing well, because I'm susceptible to jinxing. Alright, too far. Can we? Nope. I was gonna say, can we salvage this? And the answer is no. What happened the previous time is really dumb. The grind animation basically cut off the, it basically hopped over the spring, because in this game in particular, Shadow does a little jump when he does a grind rail speed up, and it just happened to be enough to dodge the spring. It's really dumb. Again, a well-programmed video game. They thought that through very well. I mean, I do admittedly prefer how in current Sonic games to grind on rails. You don't have to like do anything like that. You basically just have to you know, boost essentially to get speed up. Oh, this is the branch point, by the way. This is like nerve-wracking because you only have like one chance at it. And the camera is not helpful. We made it. That was no problem, right? No sweat. No worries. It's all good. Oh, good. Because I couldn't see the platform because of the camera positioning, I was really nervous that it was just gonna plummet me into a pit or something. Can we use switches? No, we cannot. We are not Tails. We have to actually jump out of the mech for that. Oh, this feels precarious as heck. There we go. Now I'm curious, this is kind of dark for Hero. That counts as Hero, okay. Actually, that does make sense, because again, Maria wants you to destroy the artificial chaos in one of the previous missions. Now again, the fan theory of, oh, Maria getting her wish to have the artificial chaos destroyed is why they don't show up in other stages. Yeah, that's a good theory, but also why do they show up in Sonic Adventure 2 then? So yeah, that is one area where the theory falls apart a little bit. Oh shoot, I was supposed to light dash there. Okay, Shadow, you can go that way as a treat. Like, I won't judge as long as I don't fall off the platform. Whenever I stream this, like, Sonic games, well, I've only done 3 so far, but I keep having this feeling where I have to be like, I swear I like these games, because I feel like I keep discovering the weirdest stuff, and it's like these games are just mildly cursed a little bit, but that's just Sonic in general. You just never know if you're gonna have like a good run through a stage, or if it'll just be the most, like, cursed run. It's part of the fun, part of the charm, is not knowing what you're gonna get from this game. It could be nice, or it could just completely fling you off course for no apparent reason. This is a cool set piece though. And with that, we've already reached the computer room, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, the 15-minute time limit is shockingly generous. But if you do want to go back and do the other route, they do give you a checkpoint, which is very arbitrary, I feel. It's okay to not like them. I mean, I genuinely do like these games, though. Again, there are a couple I'm not a fan of. Lost World for story reasons, Forces also for story reasons, and just general blandness in that case. But, like, other than that, I can find positives in, like, every other Sonic game. Like, straight up. Like, most Sonic games I'm pretty positive about, for the most part, or can find something to like about them.
What is this defiance?
Black Doom, I need to know the truth. Am I the one the humans refer to as the Evil One? Tell me. I need to know.
It is true. I created you. part of me.
Hey, Shadow! You okay?
If that's true, then I'll have to accept my responsibilities for my crimes. I will avenge the victims who died aboard the Ark on that tragic day.
The humans seem to have convinced you with this absurdity. Therefore, I have no choice but to kill you too. Those humans have brainwashed you and your feeble mind. Allow me to remind you of the truth.
Don't listen to him! We need to defeat him!
Actually, I think this is our first time fighting Black Doom for this playthrough. Again, he shows up in a couple of endings. Again, you only have 3 ending fights. You have Egg Dealer, Black Doom, and Diablon. And they basically populate all of the endings. So, again, get used to these fights if you want to actually, okay. Or the balls can just go straight through, that works too. But like, this one gives you so much ammo, it's weird. Cause like, the previous one was so stingy, it's like, why do we have so much ammo? Like, not complaining, mind you, it's just kinda weird that they make the, Diablon fight so hard compared to everything else. It's like, just a lack of consistency that's a little bit annoying, to be honest. It's like, I kind of would prefer, being able to like, consistently deal damage in fights. So this is dumb, I wanna stock up while we can. We're almost at a chaos control level, so that's part of the reason why I'm doing this. Again, you can only hit him when he's like not got an afterglow. Like typically you have to get pretty high up to deal damage. But like, this fight is so much easier than Diablon, it's weird. The only frustration is just having to wait for an opening, at times. Or like getting stuck inside the boss in that case, that sucked. We kind of burned most of our chaos control gauge, so that was not the most productive attempt of this fight ever. But it should still be enough to get through this without too much more trouble. I say as I immediately get sniped by a meteor. Oh, it actually reached, cool. It's easy, he says, not having to worry about taking damage in this fight. Yeah, basically the one that has a voice line is the one you want to target. But also, like, you have to wait until he actually starts attacking first. He doesn't have a hitbox for the first few frames of his attack, for whatever reason. But yeah, that takes care of another ending, so that means there's only one left, which we'll probably tackle next time. Oh, by next time I mean next week.
What I must do for my atonement.
It's better to let people play than just watching. Yeah, I feel like that's also how I am with a few, like, Black Knight and Secret Rings are that way for me.
Finally, I've got all the Chaos Emeralds.
Shadow, this isn't over yet. The Black Arms will rise again.
I am Shadow the Hedgehog, a research experiment gone deadly wrong. I've caused so much destruction. I should never have been created. This is who I am.
Hey, don't go there! Yet, things may not be what they seem. You could be.
I'll be honest, I go back and forth on how I feel about this ending, because on one hand, it's very tragic for Shadow to be feeling this way, but it's also kind of funny for Vector to be the one trying to console him in this moment. Like, a very interesting choice to have Vector be the companion character of this one, just because it's like, I don't know if he's, like, the best person to be giving Shadow this speech. And with that, we have more endings. But yeah, just to show, there are 326 endings. Which ending is canon? Here's the fun story. None of them are. Once you do all 10, you unlock the true ending, which doesn't directly tie into any of the normal endings. Which is actually the biggest complaint of this game, is that, like, nothing ties into it. So it's like, oh, this is just filler, basically. Because none of these actually connect to anything in the last story. The closest is the True Hero path, which we'll be tackling. Also part of the reason I want to do that next time with the last story. I've always thought that is the closest to being the canon one, but even then it's, like, kind of a stretch. So yeah, this game's weird. Again, I have warmed up to it from where I was prior, but that doesn't mean I like every aspect of it, because there's definitely a lot of questionable choices in this game. Also, you actually get full stars if you get all the A ranks on the mission. And if you actually get all A ranks, period, you unlock Super Hard Mode, which is actually people's, in some way, their preferred way of playing this game. Because Super Hard Mode works as a linear campaign, where you just go through all of the levels, and they just pick a mission, and it's tailored around that level, so you have more like bespoke level design in a way that you don't really get from the main game. So it's this bizarre situation of, yeah, some people actually do recommend just like playing Super Hard Mode, but the problem is you have to do so much work to just unlock that. It's not worth it, probably, for most. That is something I've thought about, like just downloading a save file that has everything unlocked and trying it to see what it's like, because I've actually never done it before. You know what? I was actually kind of worried that the stream would not take a full 2 hours because of, yeah, good on Vector there. It's nice having others help you realize that you should exist when you believe otherwise. Yeah, it's like a weirdly heartfelt moment from Vector, and I think that's why it stands out to me in some ways, because it doesn't quite feel in character in a way. Like, it's good to see, but it just kind of stands out in a way that's like, huh, wouldn't have pictured Vector to be the character for this. Yeah, basically all we're missing is this boss fight all the way down here, which is actually Black Doom again, so we'll be seeing him next time too, along with the last story. Last story is about half an hour. This stage alone, this one here, this will be about half an hour, probably. No, that's over. Well, it depends on if we die a bunch. Like, my best time for this stage is 16 minutes, which is still a lot. But like we did today, since we have to go through Westopolis Hero and Lethal Highway Hero again, I'm just gonna do those two off screen, and also the first Black Bull fight. We'll pick up at Casino Park, we get to hear him talk about the damn fourth Chaos Emerald again, and then we will do the last, like, 4 stages of this path, and then the final story. This probably won't even take a full 2 hours, to be honest. The last story isn't very long. But the big question I kind of have is, like, what should I do after? Because it'll probably be like 40 minutes at most remaining after that. So I'm not entirely sure what to do for the rest of the time, to be honest. If I should just, like, pick another Sonic game. But I don't think I have any that are that short. Except, like, the Game Gear ones, I suppose. But I don't know if I want to subject myself to the Game Gear ones. I find those very difficult because of how narrow the screen resolution is. Like, one story of Sonic Riders would be enough, but not both. So yeah, we'll see. I'm kind of like, you know, it's just something I need to decide. Master System Sonic Chaos, that is an option, actually. Or we might just do a short stream next week, because, frankly, I think after streaming consistently for as long as I have, my voice is kind of dying. It definitely gave out partway through this route. So yeah, maybe I should just take it easy. And, like, we've hit 2 hours. That's kind of like my target minimum time is just, an hour, like 2 hours, like, as a ballpark, you know, not shorter than that is kind of my goal usually. So, yeah, overall, pretty good stream. Again, a lot of cursed moments in the semi-hero story, just because Cosmic Ball is just kind of a level where a lot of like things can go horribly wrong. I've actually gotten more A ranks than I expected, to be honest. I'm kind of impressed actually, because I kind of wasn't expecting to do well at this whatsoever. Kind of expected to just kind of flounder a bit. Like, if I wanted to, I could probably do the true hero story tonight, because it's only gonna take an hour, if I'm skipping, like, the first 3 cutscenes. That's just a matter of I shouldn't push myself that hard, I should just take it easy. But yeah, thank you all for joining me tonight. Thank you for all the support, as always. I hope everyone has a good rest of your day. And schedule, I actually have a schedule graphic. I haven't used it at all yet. But my general, like, rough plan, is to do, like, what am I even trying to say here? My rough plan for next week is to do Guilty Gear Xrd on Monday. Now, I have no clue how long that stream will be either, because it's like, if it's only one game, it'll probably only be like an hour at most. If it's just like arcade stuff. Pat Yuna, congrats again, an affiliate. Thank you! And thanks to all of you for all the support. Wouldn't be here if it wasn't for everybody. Group effort. So yeah, I mean, there is rollback. Maybe I should ask around and see if anyone wants to actually do XR Rev 2 online, but I think that's just signing myself up to get absolutely curb stomped, if I'm being honest. And maybe we'll just boot up Strive for a bit, because I actually kind of know how to play that game by comparison. Or maybe just do something else. We shall see. But yeah, thank you all. I think we can do a raid. I do not have a raid message though. Just because it's like, for some streamers I feel like I'm more comfortable doing like bizarre raid messages, if that makes sense. For other streamers, I'm a little bit more like hesitant in a way to be like, maybe we shouldn't, you know, risk it kind of, because I don't know what like the channel rules are for like various aspects. So I do want to do a raid though. So we'll get this stream up so I can see the raid. And then I need to also need to figure out how to spell this properly, so this actually goes through. Where is the button for raid? There it is. Following. This feels like such a procedure every time. Every time it's like, where is everything? And I know there's just a command, but again, otherwise I'd have to write it out. So, we are going to be raiding another VTuber in the community who is currently live. We are going to raid, we're unable to raid at this time. Okay, never mind. We're not raiding the person I was gonna raid. Okay, so change of plans. In that case, I guess I'm thinking we should just not raid then. Never mind. I apologize for the sudden swerve there at the end. But again, thank you all for stopping by. Thank you for the support as always. Again, next stream will be Monday at the latest. Again, I might try to sneak in a Friday stream if I'm feeling up to it. But if I'm not, then I reserve the right to just, you know, take it easy. You can raid the kitty? That is also true. Maybe we should raid the kitty. I need to actually double check something. How many channel points do I have? Damn, I only have 1,000. If I had 3,000, I would have done a thing for a raid message. Because I have and yeah, thank you for the headbats. Again, that's the only emote I have, because everything else I have, and even that's like temporary. I would like to get something commissioned. someday to be a little bit more like fancy. Again, if I had 3,000 points, I would have just had like cute as a raid message, but alas, I do not have the points to activate that. Yeah, we can go raid. So back in we go over here. Yeah, this should work by comparison. Start raid. So yeah, we will be raiding Chumney today. Yeah, thank you all so much for stopping by. Again, Monday's probably more Guilty Gear, XR, and maybe something else after, because that won't take very long. Wednesday we'll be finishing up Shadow, and any other streams, I have no idea. You can always follow me on Twitter or Blue Sky. I actually didn't tweet out the streams because I've been getting so many like bot follows from tweeting streams, so I kind of just dropped in Discord though, in all fairness. But yeah, we're gonna go raid now, so I hope everyone has a good rest of your day, and evening, and week, if I don't stream again. And I will hopefully see y'all later. Take care, y'all!